Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my YouTube channel. Sorry it's been a little while since I posted the first one. So someone asked me about an update about how I've been getting on since starting my art again. And so what you're looking at right now is I was using proper Winston & Newton watercolour paper, and you can see obviously there's a little robin, and there's a nuthatch. And if you compare that to what I did when I first started again, being a complete novice, it's a massive difference obviously. So what I did is I carried on sketching, and as you can see I started to do watercolour. So I found this quick and cheap pad. 80 sheets, 120 GSM, so it's not perfect for watercolour, but it just about holds it. So I started doing obviously sketching. One of the things I started to do was make sure I was using the right pencils. So when I first did my first few sketches I was using something like a 4B or something silly. Obviously better to use something like a 2H, and so I started sketching every day. And then the first really big thing that hit me was I found an old fountain pen, and I did this little quick crow, and I really liked doing that. So I started doing pen and ink. The thing is, it's really good when you're learning as well, or getting back into it, because it sounds strange but it's permanent. So if you make a mistake, it's there, you know, and so there's no hiding place. Whereas pencil, obviously you could do it and you can rub it out, and that's fine, but it's weird. I really enjoyed using the pen and ink to see where I was going wrong. And actually the real surprise was, more often than not, it was going right. One of the issues I had with doing this video was that I'd left it so long that I'd filled up about 7 sketchbooks, and so I don't want to bore you going through 7 whole sketchbooks. So what I've been doing is flicking through, see which is worth showing for any particular reason. So like I said, these are all done with a cheap old fountain pen I had. And this is for a project I've got at the end of the year. And this is there's a chapel near me, and it's all wibbly wobbly, but to be honest, that's actually, it's like people say, it's the charm of it. That's what I like about it. If it was all straight lined and that, it wouldn't look right. And I was really pleased with this again, because when you make a mark, I'm not doing it, this is total freehand, there's no pencil underneath. So when you do a mark, if it's wrong, it's wrong. And I did this, and I was really chuffed with how it turned out. I'm going to show you, a couple of the warts and all. This didn't turn out quite right and quite as I wanted it to, but that's how it goes sometimes. This is just practice. But again, freehand. I quite like this little squirrel. And there was a lake I was at, and I see these these ducks just sitting by the edge there. Quickly sketched them with, again, just ink. And this, again, this is just a practice. I was mucking about with using the fountain pen and then going over with a little water brush. And I mean, this is my first attempt, and it's just practice. I've done it several times since. And this I was just mucking about, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to do in the long term. I'm going to do a bit of everything and see how it goes, but I might do some abstract art, whatever. And I was just mucking around here, which to be honest is what a sketchbook is for. You know, obviously a fox, pen and ink, and some crayon. And this is just a little depiction of Stonehenge that I went to a few years ago for the summer solstice. And this should be recognisable to most people, Easter Island. Again, pen and ink, but this time now using a little bit of watercolour. And like I said, this book is not built for watercolour, but it holds it quite well. And I really liked how this turned out, because it's just a quick sketch, but I was really pleased with it. Now this was my first time painting outside with a little watercolour set I've got, pocket one. And I was stood up and everything, and so I was really chuffed with it. But the funny thing is the moment I started to actually sketch in the dark, he got up and wandered off. I don't know what it is, but I find that's quite fun to sketch and draw actually. And this is a little pied wagtail. I took a photo of one morning. Again, pen and ink, and just a little bit of watercolour. Now again, this is interesting because obviously this is the pyramids and the Sphinx. This was using that cheap fountain pen and some watercolour. The only issue you've got is that when you use the watercolour, obviously if it hits any of the lines, you can use it like I showed you earlier that I was doing, but when you don't want it to run, obviously it can become an issue. So then I went out and got some waterproof pens, and I did the exact same picture, but this time with the waterproof pens, so that I could actually do the pen work and then go in with the watercolour afterwards, and it wasn't going to smudge it. So that's what then got me into getting all the different size unipens. I've got a whole bunch of them, and I started doing both with the fountain pen and the unipen, depending whether I was going to use watercolour or whether I wanted it to be able to use the black of the ink with a water brush, for example. Really chuffed how this, because most of these are quick sketches in this little cheap sketchbook, but I was really pleased how this came out. Again, just using pen and ink, freehand. So if you make a mistake, you make a mistake, that's that. Just trying to practice people, because it's that's something I've got to do a lot of practice with. And I absolutely love this. Again, pen and ink. This time again with the unipen, so it's waterproof, so I could then go in afterwards with a bit of watercolour. I did actually also use a little bit of a white gel pen there, and I was really pleased with this. Okay, so that was the first sketchbook. This is the second one. I'm only just going to show you this one picture from it. Again, pen and ink. This is actually my mum. and it's one of the lovely times we go out. I take her out once a week and we go for a walk and see nature and that. It's just a quick sketch I did from a photograph, but obviously it means something to me. There's a few other things in this sketchbook, but I'm just going to leave it at that because they're experimental or with projects I've got going on in the future that I want to leave till later to show you. Okay, so then I got some more cheap sketchbooks. The paper was not quite as good. It took this watercolour not too bad. Obviously you can see a ladybird there. And I can't quite remember what this bug is called, but anyway, that's done. So I mainly was doing pen and ink in this one. You can see Frida Kahlo. I come across this YouTube channel called Sketchbook School, and the school is spelt with SKOOL, and it's really fun. On a Thursday they do a sort of draw with me, and it's good because you end up doing things that you might not have chosen or you might not like to draw, and doing different types of drawing or painting, all sorts. So I did quite a lot of them. Not just lives, I went back to some of their old ones and did some of them too. So this is my fourth sketchbook. I'm just showing you this because it's some of those things when it comes to time, because we say, you know, I haven't got time, and I completely understand that. But these are just like 5-minute sketches. So the idea is you get from anywhere reference pictures of people, and then just sit down. Even if you do one just 5 minutes, I did some that were just like 2 minutes, but it keeps your hand in there, makes you think that at the end of the day, okay, well at least I did some art. And that's mainly what I've been doing, because I haven't been doing a lot of painting, but I've tried to make sure that every day I do a bit of art, even if it's just sketching, even if it's just a couple of minutes or 5-minute sketches, and that's what I've been doing. Well, that's how I filled up all these notepads, sketch pads. So another fun thing to do I come across was doing what they call continuous lines. So you put your pen on the paper and then you don't lift it up. It's really difficult because you really want to cheat, and you really want to do that, to lift it off, to correct any mistakes or what have you. Anyway, the funny thing was, when I finished it, there was a little bit of Van Gogh look about it, but the funny thing is, it wasn't a picture of Van Gogh. So, but it's fun to do. Again, with Sketchbook School, they did Mona Lisa. There's not many people who have got a Mona Lisa in their house, and obviously I have now. Beethoven. And the man that runs it, this is his dog Twiggy. Okay, so we're into, I think this is my 5th sketchbook. I'm showing you this because it's just Vincent van Gogh, not a great picture at the moment, but I went out and bought myself a Lamy, Lamy fountain pen. So I got a proper fountain pen, and so this is why I'm showing you this. It was the first time I used it. A quick sketch of Picasso. And Monet. And at least this one, I'm actually using the ink from Lamy fountain pen to add to the picture later. Einstein. The German painter Otto Dix. Again, using the ink from a fountain pen to do a bit of shading. And then Abraham Lincoln. Sketchbook 6, and yep, I do like ducks. I don't know why, I do like sketching and drawing them. Okay, so we're into the current and sketchbook 7, and the thing is with this one is it's an expensive one, a Stillman and Burn sketchbook. proper sketchbook, full watercolour or real thick ink, and I treated myself and got one. This is Kusha Kone. She was the co-founder of Sketchbook School. She's got her own YouTube channel, which is interesting. So yeah, this is brilliant because you can use your watercolours and it's not a problem. It's really nice, thick, good quality paper. And again, it's just every day doing a quick sketch if I do nothing else. And here's a bird I love to draw or sketch, a long-tailed tit. They're lovely. One thing you find is when you're learning something or you're getting back into it, it's a good idea not just to do the things you like doing, but to also do the things that you don't like doing. Otherwise you never get better at doing other stuff, which is great. But there are some times when you don't feel like drawing or don't feel like sketching, and at those times it's just do what you like doing, because then you will do it and you'll keep doing it. So for a few days I just did long-tailed tits. Grey herring. So that's it. You're current, up to date with my sketchbook. Like I said, to make sure that every single day I do a bit of art, even if it's just a quick sketch in my sketchbook. But I've got some more stuff to quickly show you before we go. So I finally got into doing some acrylic painting because that's something I need to practice on. So as I said, I have been doing some watercolours, but now I'm comfortable with that going forward. It's now time to go back to acrylic painting and get much better at it. Now these are from a series of paintings that I've just started to do only about 5 days ago, which I'm going to do a video of because it's going to be one of those 100-day projects. So I'm going to try and do, well, I'm going to paint acrylic every day, and so far I've been doing a quick acrylic painting every day. Now this is from the Italian painter and his name has just escaped me, but I'll put it in the description. So the next videos now, I'm going to do my first impressions of pen and ink, watercolour, acrylic and the 100-day project. So that's me up to date, and I hope you're doing your art, and I'll see you soon. Bye.